All right, Bones. Young England internationals Phil Foden and Mason Greenwood were recently sent home from international camp in Iceland after breaching quarantine rules for inviting a group of Icelandic girls up to their hotel rooms.
Yeah, you have to hope the lads grow from this experience and learn women aren't just another notch in the old eyebrows, Stevie.
That's not saying. Let's just get this over with. All right, Bones, we are on the eve of the EPL season. Means prediction time here, BTL. So, on today's episode, Bones, I think we'll go through our predictions for Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year, Manager of the Season, and then maybe one last bonus at the end, just do kind of a bold prediction.
Keep them guessing.
Keep them guessing.
Yes.
So, Bones, quickly though, congratulations to all the players of the year. A lot of them have been award winners from this past season. We have Kevin De Bruyne awarded Player of the Year for this past year. Young Player of the Year was Alexander-Arnold for Liverpool. Jurgen Klop taking home Manager of the Year. So congratulations to those players. Outstanding seasons for all of them.
Yeah, and Stevie, I want to congratulate you on Podcast of the Year. And let's cheers, because like your parents' marriage, this isn't going to last forever.
I can't cheers to that, Bones. Brutal, but fair, I guess. Yeah.
True is not the same as fair, but... Do you want me to start with my Player of the Year, Stevie, after you
so Bones,
swallow that bitter pill?
So, Bones, let's get right into it. Player of the Year, again, Kevin De Bruyne just announced as Player of the Year for this past season. An incredible season for Manchester City. Accumulating, like 20 and 20 essentially?
20 assists, I think 13 goals.
Yeah, incredible year for second place Manchester City. So, Bones, go ahead, give it to us. Your Player of the Year for this upcoming season.
I can't believe you even had to ask. Lord Harry Kane. I can't imagine...
Riding this Tottenham train, huh?
No, I really believe this. 5 goals in their last 3 matches as he rounded back into form. And just, he makes me long for the days of yore when people stayed married and you married,
What?
You took your high school sweetheart and got a pop with your leather jacket on. He doesn't need a lot of touches. He's not one of these flashy strikers. Everyone shits on him. He needs 3 touches, 2 goals. The best finisher in the world. Yes, I said it. The best finisher in the world. If he played for Bayern Munich with Lewandowski, he'd have 50 goals. It's going to be a joke.
I was going to say, Lewandowski, Cristiano Ronaldo.
He's a better finisher. I think for sure Ronaldo has more exciting finishes, but I think if you have a guy, they do this like dumbass expected goal differential, like 68%, I want Kane. He doesn't need much, Stevie, and that's what Mourinho needs, is someone that doesn't need much.
Bruno's going to outscore Kane in just penalties alone next season. I will say, Bones, I think a lot of people, especially after the restart, when they looked at Jose Mourinho taking that team, what that was going to mean for Son, what that was going to mean for Kane, and the attacking players there, most people started to feel bad for Kane. Especially, you watch that Manchester United match when, they took parking the bus to a whole new level.
That was awful.
Kane just kind of looked lost and miserable in that match. But that being said, you mentioned it, Bones, 5 goals in their last 3 matches for Harry Kane.
He just turned 27 in July.
Yeah, and you would think fully healthy after having battling a couple of injuries last season for him. So I wouldn't be shocked. I don't think it's an outrageous pick.
No. And he's certainly a loser doing all the gender reveals and having like 3 kids as a professional football player. But that means there's no distraction.
Can we hold gender reveals against like every guy?
Yes.
Do you have to just suck that up?
No, you don't suck that up. You get divorced. If my wife said divorce for a gender reveal, I'd be out. I'm not. Do you think I'm joking? This is not funny. Like, people are so sick of this shit. Stop showing up this stuff.
Okay. All right.
God.
Far more passionate.
No.
Maybe we should start a podcast about gender reveals. You seem far more passionate about that than you do about football.
How many people in the world that you haven't already told care about the gender of your kid? The answer is 0.
That's true.
Good God. Wear a condom or get off social media. Those are your 2 options.
You're making great points today, Ben.
Sorry.
Yeah, so Harry Kane had a great finish to last season. I think you and I both think Tottenham's going to be improved this year. Jose Mourinho won the restart last year. Again, have upgraded a little bit, not big splashes, but Matt Doherty is going to help them. not only defensively, but getting to attack as well was very good for Wolves last year in the attack. So Matt Doherty, right back, could potentially help Harry Kane in his goal-scoring prowess as well. So
I love Højbjerg, man. I've never seen him play, but I love him.
Pierre. So Højbjerg, whatever. So Tottenham much improved, I think. Maybe not much improved, but improved. Full season under Jose Mourinho. We'll see what happens there. And then Harry Kane, maybe scoring goals. For me, Bones.
35. Over under 35, I take the over.
Jose's math or like
no, just
everybody
normal.
else's math?
If we're going to play in all the tournaments. So if we're doing EPL, 38 matches, I think he's going to score 28 goals.
I'm going under. I'm hammering the under.
All right, let's make the gentleman's bet.
Why don't we put real money on it?
All right, what do you want to bet?
I'll bet 100 that he's under 25.
25?
Under 25.
All right.
There we go. So there we go. My bet, Harry Kane under 25. We think Vardy won the Golden Boot last year, scoring under 25. So I don't think that's a bad thing for Harry Kane to score under 25. He could still win Player of the Year.
Was Vardy coached by Mourinho?
No.
Right,
Again, we're talking real statistics, though. All right, real hard numbers, not Jose's math. So Harry Kane for you. Bones for me. I'm going to Raheem Sterling. You and I both think that Manchester City is going to kind of have, I say, a resurgence. They finished second last year in the table, but I think Manchester City finishes first this year. Has a great year under Pep Guardiola. So Raheem Sterling, he's got an award-winning ass.
That's for sure.
So you look at players with similar asses. We're talking Hazard, award winner.
Yeah. Ronaldo as a hell of
former
ass.
player of the year. Ronaldo, that ass. Roberto Carlos, caliber ass.
You gotta say, De Bruyne has the best ginger ass I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's like the tallest midget though.
The front of my body and the back look the same. Just saying.
Okay. So me, Raheem Sterling, 25 goals, or is it 25? Yeah, I believe 25 in 33 matches last year for Manchester City. So a great season last year, only really outdone by his teammate Kevin De Bruyne, who put up over 20 plus assists. So Raheem Sterling, if Manchester City has the revival that they had last season, and again, Kevin De Bruyne, it's hard to see Manchester City having such a great year without Kevin De Bruyne putting up like massive numbers. The only reason I'm really not going Kevin De Bruyne this next season is because we haven't seen a ton of repeat winners for this award. You have to go back to the 07, 08 seasons for Cristiano Ronaldo. We've seen guys win it twice, but typically there's kind of a year break. Gareth Bale won it twice. I think Ryan Giggs has probably won it twice. You don't typically see back-to-back winners.
Was that during the affair with his brother's wife?
It's a tough moment for Ryan. I can't believe
it
you
doesn't
bring
seem
that
tough
up.
for him.
More for his brother.
If any man or woman can make one mistake. The man was cheating with his brother's wife for 10 years. Don't make excuses.
He's a hell of a footballer.
Good God.
She liked what she saw.
Good God.
So, for me, Raheem Sterling, he's going to get over that Champions League miss, the sitter against Lyon.
Yeah.
Because, quite frankly, he misses tons of sitters.
Yeah,
so, this is nothing new for him.
He creates.
Yeah. Well, doesn't even really create. He just finishes, just maybe not as consistently as we would all like. So, Raheem Sterling, big numbers last year. I think he's going to put up even bigger numbers this coming season. Manchester City going to be... in my opinion, going to win the league. We'll see.
Both
how
of our
much.
opinions run away. So we're going to look like real idiots.
I don't know about runaways. I'm not.
I'm saying that
I wouldn't be shocked.
10
if it's
plus
a runaway.
points.
Shut the fuck up.
I mean, it's serious.
10 plus points.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to get 105 points this year. Mark it down.
Mark it. It's
Get
marked.
your notebooks out.
It's marked.
All you boys and girls that aren't going to school.
Yeah. All right.
Type in your little computers.
So, Raheem Sterling for me, player of the year. So, Bones, let's go to young player of the year.
Okay.
Tell me who you like.
I'm going to go with Havertz. 29 goals in the last 2 years in the Bundesliga.
Bones, can I interrupt you there?
Yeah.
And by the way, young player of the year, Alexander-Arnold. I think we mentioned it a little bit earlier. Won it this past year. For those that don't know, stipulation to qualify as young player of the year, you just have to be a U23, so under the age of 23 at the start of the EPL season. So Alexander-Arnold won it this past year. Bones, go ahead.
Thank you, Steve,
for
clarifying. Yeah, I'm not good with that. So yeah, I think Havertz is an unbelievable player. He's kind of hard to describe because he's slimy. He's like a little weasel.
Majestic.
Yeah, and he's equally adept at scoring, creating chances,
Mercurial,
being hideous, and just in all. I mean, he also has that like weird like I hate when people say this. But he has that weird thing like the end of the game. You think he's going to get one. You think he's going to make a play. He's going to create a chance.
You always have confidence that he's going to deliver.
When his family was poor in Germany and couldn't eat because they were of the lower caste system, he was the brother that found the bread in the garbage can to feed his whole family.
Is this where that whole feral thing comes from?
I mean, he's a hideous man.
He's not that
high class people don't look like that.
He's got decent hair.
He does have decent hair.
Yeah, so... But I like that. I like that pick a lot for Kai Havertz. Early reports out of Chelsea training, he's tearing it up. They expect him to start the first season.
My sources haven't told me that?
So Kai Havertz with Chelsea. He's 21 right now, I believe. Yes. So obviously qualifies for Young Player of the Year. If you look at the season he had for Bayern Leverkusen last year and really Bayer Leverkusen season as a whole last year, they struggled early on offensively for sure. Really struggled offensively for most of the year. And I think that's in large part due to Kai Havertz struggling during the early part of the year, and then really turned it on kind of after the restart and really kind of turned things around for Bayer Leverkusen.
He has like that weird, the sport quality where he just always finds space. Like you look, there's 8 guys in the box, and all of a sudden he's open, and he does it.
Yeah, he finds space. We talked about the physicality of the EPL. He's a bigger kid too. He's like 6 foot, so he's not a small guy that's going to have to really like take time to adjust to the physicality at least. And I don't know if we mentioned it, Bones. He had 29 goals in the past 2 seasons for Bayern Leverkusen. He's a very good finisher. He has that like slippery quality to him too, where he can just ride off challenges and somehow comes out with.
And like you're saying, he has that wiry strength, like a little bit like Kawhi Leonard, where he doesn't look that strong, but he bodies people, man. He gets in there. Right? That's from being on the streets, man. He's like an Aladdin without the flying rug.
Like a modern day Ratatouille.
Yeah, exactly.
So good for Kai Havertz. If you're going to look like a rat, then I guess be a professional footballer. So Kai Havertz, I like that pick. We think Chelsea's going to be much improved. Yeah. So for him, the opportunity's there to put up big numbers for him, and especially in that attack, being surrounded by quality players. So Kai Havertz, my only problem with that is that he is going to have to adjust. It's a new league. He's a young player. He's going to have to adjust.
Here we fucking.
But can he do it in Stoke on a Tuesday night?
Oh my, get out of here!
Can he do it in Stoke?
The Bundesliga was better than the EPL last year.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm not saying like the whole can he do it. He's a quality player. I have no doubt that he's going to be quality for Chelsea. But I do think there is something to getting used to your first year, even if it's not a full season of adjustment. We looked at Christian Pulisic, didn't get off to like an absolute flying start.
But I look at the other way. He's like, in Germany, he's hideous. In England, not that bad. So maybe it gives him some more confidence.
Okay, going back to his looks.
He's a 6 in England. He's a 3 in Germany.
I'm starting to see where you're getting all these award winners from. Okay.
Yeah. He's young, man. Young people are vain.
He is
now
young.
I'm so sure of myself, I can do anything. I was that age. You know?
When you look that good.
Yeah.
So Kai Havertz. That's my only problem with him is having to get to know, get acclimated to a new league, being that young. So Kai Havertz. For me, Bones, again, I think the big point of this is you have to be under 23 at the start of the season. So you look at somebody like, and my prediction is Marcus Rashford. Okay. He's 22 years old right now. He'll be 22 by the start of the season. So for me, he has tons of EPL experience. I think he's been a full-time starter in the EPL for the past like 3, almost 4 years maybe of the EPL. Put up 17 goals in 25 appearances for Manchester United. And a Manchester United team that is going to get a full season of Bruno feeding into those forwards with Rashford. So for me, Marcus Rashford, already established in the EPL as really a star, an established player, probably only going to get better. Had a great season last year. My only problem is if Manchester United doesn't do that well, which you and I kind of think that there's maybe going to be a slip there, is Marcus Rashford penalized for that?
And I want to clear this up for all the viewers. I think we both agree, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's contingent on Pogba. if Pogba plays a full season, Manchester United's top 4. He's incredible.
Yeah.
And I think if Pogba plays a full season, then Rashford has 25, 28 goals. But if Pogba gets hurt, I don't think this Van der Beek guy just slides in like some people are saying on Twitter, which I wish I could get off Twitter.
So it's not James Van der Beek. It's Van de Beek.
Oh, I thought it was
not Van der.
I thought they had the guy from Varsity Blues.
Yeah, it's not. He's not throwing passes.
But I'm just saying. Pogba's incredible, but he just doesn't stay healthy.
Yeah. So I do think Manchester United is going to be approved. I agree with you, Bones, in the sense that Pogba has to stay healthy for Manchester United to be really successful. But I'll even add to it, I think they need to pick up. There's been rumors of them getting Upamecano from Red Bull Leipzig in the Bundesliga, a left center back who would be great for them. If they could just add him, that takes care of 2 need positions. In the sense that they can move Harry Maguire from left center back to right center back. We've talked about this before in past episodes. Harry Maguire didn't have the greatest year at left center back, kind of being played out of position there. If he can move over to his more comfortable right center back, Upamecano at left center back.
He's not an ambi-turner.
He's not an ambi-turner. And then, they got Dean Henderson. Get De Gea out of there.
Right.
I'm with Roy Keane. Like, how many times does this guy get a free pass for just blowing shit?
And everything seems to continue to point to the fact that they're going to get Sancho.
Yeah. So again, more rumors circulating that it's not dead. It's really just coming down to, is Manchester United willing to put up the 120 million that Dortmund's asking? Dortmund seems like they are not budging at all.
No.
Sancho, I think he's willing to play out at least another season at Dortmund. So I don't think that Dortmund's really under a big rush or a whole lot of pressure from either their side financially or Sancho.
I think it could be a January transfer.
Possibly.
I think Dortmund wants to have the lead again midway through the season and then get their hearts crushed. But he would be. He is incredible.
Yeah.
He could be Young Player of the Year if he gets traded early.
Yeah.
We didn't even think about that.
Yeah, there you go.
That Bart Simpson body. And tattoo. What was that? Like you just watching The Simpsons as a kid? All right, I digress.
So we talked about Marcus Rashford. For me, Young Player of the Year, already established, was in the running for Young Player of the Year this past season. I think he has a great chance of winning it this year. I think he's going to win it this coming season. Really, the only question for me is, how does Manchester United do? Does Marcus Rashford get penalized if Manchester United doesn't finish in the top 4, which you and I kind of think that they're going to slide out of? So, Bones, that's our Players of the Year. That's our Young Players of the Year. Let's move on. Manager of the Year. Who do you have?
I want Lampard. Because we both predicted Chelsea to finish second, right? I'm going to stick with that. If they finish second, even though they spent all that money, and I know, they spent $200 million, how can you be manager of the year? You have all that young talent and mesh it together. For this season, if you're telling me Chelsea finishes second and that's not a win for them, contingent on Champions League results, unbelievable.
Yeah.
He seems to have something that people want, and that's the key.
Yeah.
Do you have something people want? Is that not the key to life?
You've talked for 30 seconds. I'm not sure you've said anything.
Do you have something people want? Lampard has something people want. They want to be around them. All these players want to play for him. They're experienced, frank, sexually, mentally, physically.
Are you about to give me is this a supply and demand thing here?
Yeah. I mean, all these players could have gone anywhere, and they came to Chelsea. Just where we've been. They're the edge.
Yeah, so
we were there on Boxing Day, Steve. The people embraced us.
That's true. They did.
We had something they wanted, and Frank has something all these players want. That's what I'm saying. He somehow got all. I'm actually being serious.
Yeah.
He's in those meetings. Ole obviously doesn't have it because everyone keeps going to Dortmund of all fucking places, even though I'm a fan. All these people that Chelsea brought in, they're like, yeah, I want to be here. I want to be part of this. I want to get the hell out of here, William. We got someone better. Let's go. Let's win Champions League. Let's do it for Frank.
Bones, we talked about the past winners for Players of the Year. Doesn't always have to come from the top team. We saw Virgil van Dijk win it in the year Liverpool didn't win it. We saw Mo Salah win it in the year that they didn't win it. Kevin De Bruyne this past year in the year that Manchester City didn't win it. Manager of the Year seems to be one of the award where it's really given to the manager that wins the season. You and I both agree Manchester City are our picks to win it. So for me, it leaves Pep Guardiola, especially if they clear by 10 points, like you predicted, then they're fucking. I mean, Pep Guardiola's winning.
Yeah, but he's got the best players. But like, I mean, you're more rational.
Yeah, Pep's also a big supply and demand type guy himself. So yeah,
he's like, his pants have 11 pockets.
Yeah,
better than 10.
So Bones, if we look back at the past winners of this award, we talked about it's usually given to the manager that wins it. Jurgen Klopp this past season, really dating back to the 13-14 season with who did not, his team did not win the league.
I started watching soccer or football in 2017, so I don't know.
Well, you missed a glorious year for Tony Pulis. Crystal Palace, the 13-14 season.
Oh, yeah. How could I forget?
Crystal Palace registering 7 straight losses. Somehow finished like 13th or 11th, something like that in the table. Saved them from relegation. Awarded Manager of the Year. The Welshman got his like coaching license, pro coaching license when he was like 19 years old.
Yeah, because no one can understand what Welsh people say. There's this guy something.
I'm sure the Welsh over there understand.
They don't want to be racist. They're like, just give it to him.
Yeah, that's.
How do you know he was in Wales?
What do you mean?
He was probably in England. He was like, but they're like, yeah, this guy is great. He's like the guy from The Water Boy.
So, anyways, generally given to the manager of the team that wins it. So for me, Pep Guardiola, we think he's going to win. We think Manchester City is going to win the league. I'm not as bullish on Bones that they're going to win by 10, clear by 10 points, but I do think they're going to win it. So Pep Guardiola, we know it's a massive year for him, not only in Champions League, but in league play as well. I think a great chance for a double for Pep Guardiola, at least a double. So for me, Pep Guardiola, Manager of the Year. So that's Players of the Year. That's Young Players of the Year. It's Manager of the Year. So Bones, last one, kind of a bold prediction to finish us off here. Bold prediction, what do you got?
This is ripping at my dark 37-year-old heart that will never get married. I don't think the Wolves finish top 12. I think they're done. I think the lack of fans, they have a great home field advantage. I think their goal differential last year was +7 and they got worse. They always have these lucky kind of Liverpool-like bounces, but for a much less talented team. I just don't, and their jerseys suck, mustard yellow. I think that all catches up to them this year. I think Traore will probably get sold in January. Jimenez will want out, and they'll like escape relegation. But Espirito de Santos, one of the best managers in the world, we both agree, but you can't survive on grit forever.
You're breaking tons of news here, Bones. Wolves finishing out of the top half of the table.
Right.
And to your girlfriend, never getting married. Tough pill to swallow to hear that on BTL podcast.
You start dating a 37-year-old, I mean, you got to be,
expectations.
Who's that on?
Set the expectations.
That's right.
Okay, yeah. I kind of agree, although Wolves did just sign some wonder kid from Portugal.
Don't even know his name.
Yeah, I don't know his name, but apparently he's a generational talent.
He must be unbelievable.
Yeah, so apparently he's really good. I do wonder what that means for Wolves, though. Does that mean, I believe he's a forward, so does that mean Jimenez, they're counting on him leaving at some point? We talked about Traore possibly leaving at some point. They sold Matt Doherty already to Tottenham.
Raul Jimenez is too good looking to live in Wolverhampton. Everyone's known that for years. Let him go.
And then we talked about their goal differential last year was, what, like +7? It was like single digits, right?
7,
yeah, so it was +7 for Wolves. A team that plays that many close games, you wonder just when is it finally going to bite them in the ass? Bones, maybe it's next year. I wouldn't doubt it. We've seen that kind of turnaround from a team like Bournemouth years ago, all of a sudden getting relegated this year. So
the one team it doesn't affect is Burnley. Every year you see all these articles, adjusted goal differential, Burnley will get relegated, and then they're like 8th.
Yeah. Bold prediction for you, Bones. For me, Bones, my bold prediction, this has less to do with the EPL itself, and I just predict that an EPL team will win Champions League this year.
I like that. We finally agree. Thank God.
Yeah. I think the EPL...
Won't maybe get your parents back together, but...
I'll let them know. So EPL... You could argue was down a little bit this year. Again, we looked at teams like Sheffield, Brighton and Hove, just really bad teams that stayed up and were even like really successful, did well. This year, I think the EPL teams have spent the money. They've improved themselves quite a bit. Chelsea gets a all the publicity right now because of all their signings.
And does America get some credit for that? With the massive EPL package?
Yeah, I would hope so.
I mean, we're funneling money into you fucks. So stop hating on us. Yeah. We're not that bad. We're pretty bad, but we're not that bad.
Yeah. I think between Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester United, one of them gets it done. And Buds, I wouldn't even be shocked. You and I have talked about it a lot that we think that Manchester United is going to dip in their form, at least in the EPL. So they finished third last season. You and I both kind of predicting they're going to finish outside the top 4 this season. But I wouldn't be shocked, and it wouldn't be the first time that we've seen a team finish outside the top 4 but do well and have a deep Champions League run. We've seen it with Liverpool finishing outside the top 4 and actually winning it. I wouldn't be shocked if we see that with a team like Manchester United.
And I wouldn't be surprised at all if all 4 EPL teams advance from their groups to the Champions League.
Yeah, again, I wouldn't either. Chelsea, with all their depth, maybe not depth along the back line, but the forward line and center midfielder, they are absolutely stacked. Hopefully they can bring in that goalie from Rennes and solve that problem too, get Kepa out. Manchester City, extremely deep as well, really only losing David Silva from last season, but adding some key pieces. Ake along the back line from Bournemouth for Manchester City, really a position of need for them. Liverpool as well. There's still talks about Thiago going to Liverpool. I think there's no official bid has been submitted yet from Liverpool's side, but we'll see what happens with them. Gigi Wijnaldum seems like he's on his way out. But anyways, EPL, I think is going to be back up this year, extremely strong, so I would not be surprised if we see an EPL team. Not surprised. I think my pick is we will see an EPL team win the Champions League this year. So Bones, looking forward to an incredible season.
I mean, this is the season that we've been waiting for. This could be the end of the world.
It really is.
It's all culminating into this EPL volcano. There's like 7 great teams, and Harry Kane's going to come out.
Is it too harsh to say like 2020 would all be worth it if the EPL just turns into an absolute orgasm?
It's a little harsh, but I'll take it as well. As long as we're allowed over on Boxing Day.
Yeah, that's true. Hoping to come over on Boxing Day, but an incredible season. If you guys like this content, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Follow us on all of our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Stay up to date with all of our content, and we will see you guys, I guess, probably Monday after the first round of games.